The world says strength means never showing weakness. Hide your emotions, pretend you're fine, prove yourself by holding it all together. But what if that's the biggest lie we've ever believed? Real strength isn't pride, it's humility. It takes courage to admit weakness and honesty to be vulnerable. That's true power. And in this video, I want to show you why humility might be the strongest thing you'll ever walk in. Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm glad you're here for another video. This video is the second of an 8-part series I'm starting on the traits a man of godly character should have. If this is your first time, I am Avi. I share honest reflections about life, purpose, pain, pointing everything back to the God of Israel who is found in his son Yeshua, who is Jesus. Let's begin. Why is it that asking for help feels harder than pretending everything's fine? Because the enemy wants us isolated in pride, but God invites us into humility, where grace and freedom are waiting. The world calls weakness shameful, but God says his power is made perfect in weakness. What the world sees as failure, heaven sees as faith. James 4:6, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Humility is the door to grace, which is experiencing God's power and true freedom. Pride is not just a character flaw. It actually forces God against us. Pride looks like not asking for help when we're drowning, pretending everything's fine when it's not, refusing to admit mistakes, or needing to have the last word in conflict. If you feel stuck or like life's always uphill, it could be that pride is creating resistance for you. God loves you, but he won't bless pride. It blocks his grace. Think about that for a second. Pride doesn't just make life harder, it actually puts us in opposition to God. That's why it feels exhausting when we try to hold it all together by ourselves. But the moment we humble ourselves, when we say, Lord, I can't do this without you, that's when grace floods in. Grace is God's power where ours runs out. So if you've been carrying burdens alone, maybe the freedom you've been searching for is waiting on the other side of humility. A lifestyle of humility earns respect, and that goes against everything the world tells us. The world says to be loud, opinionated, and always right. But humility does the opposite. It draws people in. When you live humbly, you gain more friends, not fewer. You become someone others actually enjoy being around because you're not forcing your opinions, you're not judging, and you're not tearing people down behind their backs. A good name is to be more desired than great wealth. Favor is better than silver and gold. Humility doesn't just honor God, it builds a reputation that money could never buy. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about being proud of accomplishments or celebrating one another in life. There's nothing wrong with being grateful for what you've achieved or telling someone you're proud of them. It's good to celebrate growth, success, and the blessings God has given us. The kind of pride James warns about is different. It's the pride that shuts God out, the pride that says, I don't need help, I've got this on my own. It's self-reliance over God-reliance. It's thinking that my way is superior to God's way. That's the pride God opposes. So let's make a clear distinction between the two. Healthy pride, joy, gratitude, encouragement, celebration. This points back to God as the giver and glorifies him. Then there's sinful pride, which includes arrogance, self-reliance, refusing correction. This pushes God out and isolates us. So when we talk about pride in a biblical context, I'm not talking about celebrating your child's graduation or being thankful for a job well done. Those are good things. The Bible encourages us to rejoice with one another. The pride the Bible is talking about is the kind that makes us believe we don't need God, that we can carry everything on our own. That's the kind of pride that blocks grace, and that's what God calls us to lay down. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:7-10. Ever battled anxiety before a big event or a work meeting? Ever felt fear of judgment, even if it's from your friends, but you know it's the right thing to do? When you fight temptation, do you feel weak? Do you fall into the same bad habits, feeling helpless and like you can't fight back no matter what you do? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel physically weak or have some sort of physical ailment that limits your ability to live? Are you emotionally unstable? Do you have trouble navigating relationships? Do you always have the need to control the outcome? Do you feel pressured at work or burnt out, like you have nothing left to give but you continue anyway? Paul called this thorn in the flesh, quote unquote, a constant weakness, and he begged God to take it away. But God's answer was, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. What does that look like in real life? That's what I'm trying to get at. God doesn't always take the weakness away. Instead, he teaches us to walk with him through it. The very moments we want to escape are often the moments God uses to display his strength. So let's wrap up with these 3 truths about why God allows the pain to stay. 1, God uses weakness to teach dependence. If every weakness was instantly removed, we'd never learn to rely on him. 2, pain keeps us close to the source. Our natural drift is toward independence. Weakness pulls us back to dependence. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. If God always removed the pain, we'd miss the closeness that comes from Him meeting us in it. 3. Weakness builds compassion for others. Suffering shapes how we love. People who've walked through weakness often love others with greater tenderness and patience. God comforts us in trouble so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. By experiencing these hard moments where we have nothing but weakness and humility, is where we are carried by God's power to do the thing that was impossible without Him. This is the secret, and this is how humility is the superpower to walking in friendship with God. Alright, so if you made it this far again, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for sticking around and listening. I hope that this encouraged and enlightened you. My prayer is that I would reach just one more soul with every video. So if you enjoyed and this helped you, like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.